All right, let's dive right in. If you manage construction schedules, you absolutely know the anxiety of that weekly update. You're gathering the data, running the calculations, and honestly, holding your breath a little bit to see exactly where the critical path landed. Today, we're talking about a fundamental shift in that dynamic. We really need to completely transform how we look at our data, moving away from that stressful rearview mirror reporting and shifting toward proactive, AI-driven headlight forecasting. So this explainer is all about leveraging AI and tools like Primavera P6 and MS Project to do exactly that, helping you predict and prevent delays before they completely ruin your milestones. Here is our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the delay analysis problem, then talk about using AI for schedule forecasting. After that, we'll get into the actual methods, predictive performance indicators, and performance against duration. Finally, we'll wrap up with some free tools you can use to take action right away. So let's kick things off with the core issue here, the delay analysis problem. The whole rear view mirror versus headlights dilemma.
I want you to picture your last owner's meeting. Seriously, think about it. Are you finding out about project delays before they happen, or after the milestone is already totally blown? As a scheduler or project manager, there is literally nothing worse than sitting in that room across the table from stakeholders and reporting that a critical path milestone was missed after the fact. It puts you entirely on the defensive, you're scrambling to explain what went wrong, and everyone just kind of loses confidence. What we actually want, right, is to predict that failure beforehand so we can walk into that room not with an excuse, but with a solid mitigation plan.
Here's the thing. Traditional statusing is basically just looking in the rearview mirror. It only tells you what went wrong yesterday. It's essentially just expensive historical documentation. AI-driven forecasting, on the other hand, gives you the headlights to see the crash before it happens tomorrow. Think about it like this. If you're driving 70 miles an hour down a pitch-black highway, you don't want to look at where you've been. You desperately need to see what's right in front of you. This approach shifts you from being a reactive historian to a highly proactive manager.
Moving on to AI for schedule forecasting and specifically the absolute importance of keeping the human in the loop.
Our source material makes a really crucial distinction that we have to remember. AI is an analysis assistant, it is not a planner. You must always review its outputs against site realities. AI is a force multiplier for your professional judgment, not a replacement for your hard-earned site experience. The AI is amazing at handling the massive, heavy-lifting math of cross-referencing thousands of activities, but it doesn't know that the site was flooded for 3 days last week or that your drywall sub is suddenly short-staffed. You handle the context, you are the ultimate filter.
And the actual workflow to do this? It's incredibly simple, requiring absolutely zero coding knowledge. First, you just export your P6 or MS Project data into Excel. Second, paste that raw data straight into an AI tool like ChatGPT or Claude. Third, apply a targeted prompt. And fourth, review the output. It really is that easy. We're talking minutes, not hours. And I'll even tease that you don't need to build that export file from scratch yourself, because we have a completely pre-formatted template for you at the end of this explainer.
All right, let's get into the specific tactical methods. First up, Predictive Performance Indicators, or PPI, for spotting those micro trends.
By using a targeted prompt for predictive indicators for schedule performance, you can compare your current schedule update against the previous one at the activity level to rapidly identify hidden deterioration. Instead of spending hours cross-referencing thousands of rows of data line by line just to see what silently slipped over the last month, the AI processes all of it instantly, drawing your attention exactly where it needs to be. The AI elegantly structures its findings into a dashboard of 3 really simple metrics: starts, finishes, and remaining duration. Think about it. You might have a concrete pouring activity that started perfectly on time, so it looks fine at a glance. But the AI flags that the remaining duration has quietly deteriorated compared to last week. That right there is a micro-trend. It basically creates an immediate heat map showing you exactly where the schedule is bleeding time long before it hits the overarching critical path.
So this acts as your high-powered early warning system. By identifying these microtrends, you detect future schedule failure before the critical milestones actually move. You catch those cascading delay chains while you still have the time, the budget, and the resources to mitigate them out in the field. It's the difference between actively managing a project's trajectory and just sitting by documenting its inevitable failure.
Next up is our second major method, Performance Against Duration, or PAD, to actually forecast the end date.
Now, PAD is a heavily math-backed methodology rooted in established scheduling best practices. It's a simple but incredibly powerful formula calculating the rate of delay. You simply take the actual duration an activity took in the field and you divide it by the original duration that was planned. This moves us away from just spotting trends and allows us to mathematically forecast the project's true, realistic end date.
By utilizing the AI to forecast the end date using PAD, it completely automates this calculation across your entire spreadsheet of data. It pulls all those actuals versus baselines and calculates the PAD ratios instantly for hundreds, even thousands of line items. Doing this manually for a complex P6 schedule is an absolute nightmare, but the AI handles the sheer volume of work in seconds to forecast your project delays with incredible, data-driven accuracy.
Let me give you a quick, clear example of how this math works in the real world. Let's say your original duration for a massive framing task is 10 days, but your actual duration turns out to be 15 days. 15 divided by 10 gives you a PAD rate of 1.5. This means the framing work is taking 50% longer than planned. Now just imagine having that precise, localized multiplier calculated for every single activity in your schedule instantly.
Once you've got those pad rates, the tactical applications are just massive. You can apply the average broadly across the project to estimate total completion time, or adjust it surgically for individual critical path tasks. You can slice the data by a specific contractor to mathematically prove they're underperforming on their specific scope, or even integrate these realistic rates into your Monte Carlo simulations for risk analysis. This is exactly how you arm yourself for tough conversations. You prove to management exactly where the timeline is heading, backed by undeniable math.
All right, let's talk about taking action. How can you implement this today?
We really want you to start using these headlight forecasting techniques right away, so we're giving you the exact tools to make it happen. The AI prompt library for planners and schedulers contains 88 specific prompts, including the exact PPI and pad prompts we just walked through, completely ready to go. You don't have to memorize a single command or learn prompt engineering from scratch.
Go straight down to the description below this explainer right now. You can download the free comprehensive PDF guide, which has all of these prompts ready to copy and paste. Plus, you'll get a pre-formatted Excel delay analysis template that's perfectly designed to take your raw P6 and MS project exports and feed them directly into the AI. It takes absolutely all the friction out of the process, empowering you to implement this entire workflow before your very next update meeting.
Before you go, drop a comment below and tell us what specific scheduling challenge should we solve with AI next. The construction industry is evolving so rapidly, and AI is absolutely changing schedule management forever. So think about it. Are you going to be the one driving with the headlights on, or are you going to stay stuck staring in the rearview mirror? Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next explainer. Grab those free tools in the description, and until next time, keep planning smarter.